What's going on, everyone? Welcome to How to F1 Suzuka. So right out of the gate, this is not one of my better tracks. My finishing positions tend to be a little bit better, last season aside, but it's usually more of catching positions because of strategy or ultimately just through attrition. But in terms of raw pace, this is someplace that I've just never felt very comfortable at. I don't know if it's a lot of it is just how risky the track is. There's not a whole lot of runoff, and so if you push your corner exits especially, or take your corner entries a little too aggressively, you clip the grass or the dirt and get sent off and end up in a barrier. So with that said, the hot lap isn't going to be super quick compared to what the aliens are doing, but again, that's why this is a non-alien guide. So as long as you can stay in the, I think, mid to high 131s, even low 132s, it'll be reasonably competitive in the second split races. If you run the major races, and if you run one of the ones that doesn't split, it should still be a reasonable lap time. I'm honest, I have no idea how the aliens are running as quick as they are. So, with all that said, we'll get into the hot lap. There's a few areas where you'll see some of the mistakes I'm making, but this is the best lap I've been able to put together so far this week, using the iRacing setup. So it's not the setup that's the problem. It's this track is just one of those that, you know, every little bit counts, and so if you miss one corner, it can really take a big swing on your lap time. You know, the hot lap in this video, I actually didn't get through the chicane very well the previous fastest lap that I ran, and lost about 3/10 just by not getting through the chicane very well. So be sure to hit your marks. This is one place where you can really get some good experience at making the car rotate on throttle. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll get into the hot lap, and then I'll discuss tire strategy at the end. Alright, so coming out of this last corner here down the straightaway, there's only one DRS zone on the track. This is going to be it. Careful getting into turn 1 here. The iRacing setup is very squirrely if you hit it wrong and you go out too wide trying to get into this corner. The setup overall is very pointy. It'll pretty much go wherever you tell it to. So just be careful it doesn't catch you out. Be careful exiting this corner here, and especially these next two right-handers coming up. If you clip the grass, it will pretty much immediately send you into a barrier. Ask me how I know, and watch my races from last season. The hairpin up here, the window for hitting the perfect brake spot here is very small. If you hit it too late, you'll lock up and slide through the corner. If you hit it too early, you're just going to be too slow into the corner. You can usually take this first left-hander here pretty quickly, but get it slowed down and turn for the second one because it sets up the back straightaway, and if you miss it, you lose a lot of speed down here. Here at the end of the straightaway is a little kink to the left. If the DRS is boosting, you might want to lift just before the 50 a little bit just to make sure you make the corner. Careful with the chicane here. If you hit this bump on the right, give it a little bit of throttle and it'll stabilize the car on exit. And then back to this front straightaway, and there you go. It's a lap at Suzuka. Alright, so on the topic of pit strategy, it really depends on the weather this week as to what most people are going to do. If the track is really hot, it's pretty much, I think, going to be a straight soft medium or medium soft, depending on where you start. If it's a cooler track and you're pretty good with saving your tires, you can maybe make a soft run work. But again, you have to be pretty good at your tire saving, and if the track is too hot, I wouldn't really recommend going that route. Like I said, the safest option is going to be soft medium or medium soft. Outside of the alien splits, it's probably not going to be a huge deal. I would still, though, recommend spending time practicing on the mediums so that you know what you're getting yourself into when you put them on. Because after a pit stop, there is a noticeable lack of grip, and it takes several laps for the mediums to start to feel comfortable. At no point do they ever get to where they grip as well as the softs, because that's just part of their nature. However, as I said, it takes a few laps to get in their optimal window. They'll generally carry you through the race. This doesn't seem to be one of those tracks where the mediums drop off and cliff really early. So again, it's pretty much the safe strategy here. And then one thing about pit entry, it's fairly easy here compared to some other tracks like last week, for example. However, one thing I didn't mention was that if you do lock up on your way into the pits, it's not a huge deal because you're about to get rid of that set of tires. However, obviously you don't want to do what I did just a few seconds ago and lock it up too much, because you just lose brake performance. Anyway, that'll do it for this video. Hope you enjoy it. Hope it helps somebody. And I'll catch y'all next week.